to get through this. I have some failed attempts at humor in here, so hopefully when you're laughing, I can pause and catch myself. So, the definition of a father is a man who has begotten a child. While this definition is true in the most simple form, most children don't know the true definition of a father until much later in life, and usually after serious retrospection. A father is a man who leads by example, knowing the difference between right and wrong, good and evil. A father is someone who teaches his son to tie his shoes, ride a bike, throw a ball, shoot a jump shot, bait and hook a fishing line, and to start a campfire. A father's voice offering encouragement is the only voice his son hears when he fails and doesn't know what to do. A father's voice filled with praise and pride is the only voice his son hears when he succeeds. A father teaches his son to be a man, to be considerate and respectful of all people, to say thank you, no ma'am, and yes sir. A father teaches his son to be humble, to lift others up. A father teaches his son how to drive a car, teaching him how to feather the clutch, even if that means an early ending for that same clutch. A father teaches his son how to be self-efficient, how to build things with his own hands, and to create with his mind and bring that creation to life. My dad was more than a simple definition, he was all of this and more. As you know, Dad served in the Navy, and he was extended for 4 months because of the war in Vietnam. This extension came at the same time of the birth of his first daughter. Honorably discharged 3 days later after that birth, and even though he was ecstatic to be out of the Navy and with his newborn daughter, he was still not completely satisfied. 4 years later, after the birth of his second child, another daughter, Dad was happy, but he was still missing something. He would feel complete and fulfilled less than 2 years later when God blessed him with the birth of his third child, a son. Dad had finally realized he had accomplished something monumental and decided the family was now perfect and there could be nothing better than that son. There were no more children after that. There couldn't be. The family was perfect. Dad was also a volunteer fireman for 26 years. Some of my fondest memories as a child were hearing that fire pager going off, knowing that I would get to go on a call with my hero. Afterwards, we would go back to the firehouse where I was able to help clean and roll the hoses. Slow weekends would be spent at the firehouse doing absolutely nothing or talking about previous calls. On one such call, there was a fire up off of Guanilla Pass. I was maybe 12 years old. The fire location proved to be difficult to find in the dark. Dad was one of the first ones on scene. It was at that time he decided to drop me off at the end of the Forest Service Road at 11 p.m. to flag the fire trucks coming up the mountain. I was dropped off under a tree in the dark by myself with a flashlight with failing batteries and no radio. There alone with only my thoughts. I couldn't even see the fire from where I was. After what seemed like an eternity, the first truck came up the mountain. I was saved, I thought. No such luck. That driver, sitting over there, told me to wait to direct the other truck, which was nowhere to be seen. Another eternity passed. The second truck arrived at about the same time my dad came back from the fire. I was too scared to be mad. Why did he come back? Why didn't he let the other truck bring me? Looking back now, I realize that as much as my dad loved being a fireman, he loved me more. That must have been the reason, right? Either that or he didn't have the time and energy to have another son, to try to teach him everything he taught me. Plus, he already knew my sisters were a lost cause. Dad was so involved in helping his community by being a first responder that his employer for over 44 years recognized his dedication to his job and community, where he worked by being a volunteer firefighter, and honored him with the company's most prestigious President's Award. He was passionate about helping his community, his church, and above all, his family. There are countless childhood memories of riding in a camper to Missouri, going to Grandma's pig farm, swimming in the Lake of the Ozarks, which also comes with countless memories of chiggers and fireflies. Memories of the youth group intentionally setting Dad's tent up on a pile of rocks. Memories of leaving Sunday Mass on time so the Bronco game wasn't missed. And memories of Dad's favorite place to go, Glenwood Springs. Even when Dad was under hospice care near the end, he would take a shower and sit there with the running hot water and tell the nurse he would close his eyes and was transported to the pool in Glenwood. He went to Glenwood twice a week on hospice. He can now go there whenever he wants. Now you're supposed to laugh. A family friend told my mother that Dad had not moved, rather he just changed his address to heaven. We are all sad that we are here without him, but we are only looking at one side of that coin. We are not looking at the other side of the coin. We're not seeing the wonderful place of life where he is at. Death is merely our second birth, our most important and treasured birth. We will all be together again after that second birth. Our family will be complete. And Dad will lead us to the hot springs of Glenwood, and we will celebrate. I love you, Dad.
Please stand.